What if Yoda killed Palpatine? In Revenge of the Sith, we witnessed the epic duel between Yoda and Palpatine, and how by the end, Palpatine overwhelmed Yoda, which forced him to flee. From there, he then went into exile and started his new life on Dagobah, while Palpatine, on the other hand, ruled the galaxy as the new Emperor. But what if things were different? What if Yoda killed Palpatine during their duel? How different would things have been if Palpatine died and didn't rule the Empire? Well, in this alternate timeline, that's exactly what we'll be diving into, so let's get right into it. Our story begins towards the end of the climatic duel between Yoda and Darth Sidious. The future of the galaxy depended on this fight, and it was now up to Yoda to protect what was left of the Jedi. So, he knew he had to make a move quickly. In a highly calculated move, Yoda stopped one of the Senate pods from hitting him and used all of his power in the Force to throw the pod right back at Palpatine. Now was his chance. As Palpatine jumped down, Yoda leaped up in the air and rushed right towards him. However, this is where our story is different from the original. As Palpatine let out a bolt of Force lightning right at him, Yoda held on tight to his lightsaber and used it to deflect the lightning back. Unlike how we saw in the movie where it dropped down, in this timeline, Yoda refused to let go of his saber. However, because he had never faced an opponent as strong as this Darth Sidious person, he had to use both hands to even stand a chance. Luckily for Yoda though, the fight started to turn in his favor. As he kept blocking the lightning began to melt on Palpatine's face, making him even more deformed than he already was. This was good for Yoda, but he refused to let up. He knew the stakes of this fight were way too important. Since both the Jedi Order and the Republic had already fallen, he knew he had to win this duel if there was any hope for the galaxy left. However, he couldn't keep blocking the Emperor's lightning for much longer. He had to make a move quickly. So, as Yoda kept deflecting the lightning, he then used his saber to push it right back at Palpatine, knocking him right down. With that small window of opportunity, Yoda leaped right towards him and out of nowhere. With one swift strike, Yoda struck his lightsaber right through Palpatine's chest. It was over. Emperor Palpatine was dead. As Yoda retracted the saber, he let out a big sigh of relief. He really had done it. However, his thoughts quickly shifted. As he looked at Palpatine's dead body, he realized he couldn't stay here for much longer. Any moment, the Emperor's guards would come searching for him, so Yoda had to leave immediately. As he then made his way to the bottom of the chambers, he found a small vent to escape through. So, as he climbed into the vent, he contacted Bail Organa right away.
Hurry! Defeated the Emperor I have. Careful timing we will need.
I'm glad to hear you're okay, Master Yoda. Activate your homing beacon when you're ready.
Yoda hung up. Eventually Bail arrived, and as he did, Yoda quickly dropped down into his speeder and the two took off.
Contact Master Obi-Wan we must. If still alive he is, a chance we still may have.
Bail nodded. From there, the two set off for Bail's ship, and once they made their way to it, they tried contacting Obi-Wan immediately. However, there was one problem. Obi-Wan didn't respond. This worried Yoda and Bail. Was Obi-Wan still alive, they thought to themselves? Was he okay? They needed answers, so they knew they only had one option left. They had to fight a Mustafar themselves. Eventually, the two arrived, and as they did, Yoda stepped out of the ship. However, as he walked out, he saw somebody walking towards him on the landing platform. Was that Obi-Wan, Yoda thought to himself? He took a closer look. It was. Obi-Wan Kenobi was safe and alive.
Master Yoda, thank goodness you're safe. What are you doing here?
Hear back from you, we did not. Worried we were.
It's okay, Master. I'm all right.
And what of young Skywalker?
Anakin is gone, Master. I defeated him. I was left with no choice. I left him behind on the lava bank. I assume he's dead by now, but I refuse to know the truth.
Oh, Master Obi-Wan, Master Yoda, thank goodness you're both here. We have Miss Padme on board, but she is in critical condition.
Yoda looked at Obi-Wan.
Master Kenobi, bring Senator Amidala to the nearest medical facility, you must. Stay here, I will.
You're staying?
Meet with you soon, I will.
Obi-Wan knew better than to ask any more questions. Whatever reason Yoda was staying behind for, it must be important. From there, Obi-Wan, C-3PO, and R2-D2 brought Padme onto Bail's ship and they then took off. Meanwhile, Yoda made his way to the lava bank that Obi-Wan was talking about. As he approached the bank, it was there where he saw Anakin's burnt body lying along the rocks. But he was still alive. Although his body was completely burnt, Anakin Skywalker was still somehow alive. As Anakin was trying to crawl his way up, he put his head up and saw Yoda stand right in front of him.
You! Why are you here?
Anakin was too weak. Although he was filled with rage, his injuries were way too painful. So he then turned over, and as he laid on his back, he moaned in pain. As he did, Yoda stood right beside him.
Come to this. It did not have to be, young Skywalker.
Where is Padme?
Yoda shook his head and went deep in thought. He thought to himself that maybe, just maybe, he could get Anakin some medical attention, and from there, perhaps he could bring him back to the light. With Sidious now dead, Anakin would have nobody to serve, so maybe it could work. Although he'd most likely have to serve the rest of his life in prison, at least it would be better than dying here all alone on this horrible lava planet. So Yoda leaned over, and just as he was about to use the Force to lift him, out of nowhere, Anakin used all the strength he had in the Force to try to choke Yoda, but Yoda was far too powerful for that. In a highly calculated move, Yoda broke from his choke and pulled out his lightsaber when then, with one strike of his saber, Yoda stabbed Anakin right through his chest. It was over. Anakin Skywalker was dead. As Yoda stood above Anakin's dead body, he sighed. Although Anakin left him with no choice, in a way, Yoda felt guilty inside. He felt guilty for accepting Anakin into the Jedi Order in the first place, because if he hadn't, then all this could have been prevented. It was his fault for accepting him in. It was his fault for being too blind to see that the Chancellor was a Sith Lord. It was his fault. Out of nowhere, Yoda's comlink chimed. It was Obi-Wan.
Master Yoda, Bail and I are approaching the medical facility on Polis Massa. Are you okay?
I am. Meet you there, I will.
We'll send you the coordinates now.
Eventually, Yoda arrived at the facility on Polis Massa, but by the time he did, Padme had already given birth to twins and unfortunately died in the process. When Yoda heard this news, it broke his heart, especially since that now meant that the children would never get to know either of their parents. However, when Obi-Wan saw Yoda arrive, he pulled him aside and spoke to him.
Master, I need to speak to you.
Yes, Master Kenobi?
Why did you stay behind on Mustafar? I need to know.
If tell you I do, only pain it will cause.
Obi-Wan took a pause.
You killed Anakin, didn't you?
Left with no choice I was.
Obi-Wan put his head down.
I understand. As much as it hurts, I can't be angry. You had the courage to do what I wasn't able to. I wasn't strong enough to finish him off, Master. I loved him. I love him like a brother.
Know this I do. A great master you were to young Skywalker. The blame for this is not yours to bear, Obi-Wan. Your fault this is not.
Obi-Wan nodded his head.
Master, with Anakin and Sidious dead, what shall we do from here?
Obi-Wan's comlink chimed. It was Ahsoka.
Ahsoka? You're alive?
Yes, Master Obi-Wan. It's good to see you.
What is going on?
I'm here with Rex. Although it's a relief to see that you two are alive. I'm guessing your clone troopers turned on you too.
They did. Do you have any idea why?
General Kenobi, each and every one of us clones have inhibitor chips that were implanted in us at birth. That's the cause of all of this.
Inhibitor chips?
Yes, sir. Luckily, Commander Tano helped me remove mine. But the other clones, they didn't make it.
I'm so sorry, Rex.
It's okay, sir. We just want to try and help prevent this anymore if we can.
I see. Thank you for sharing this with us. Master Yoda and I will come up with a plan. It might be best if we speak with the Kaminoans ourselves. With Darth Sidious now dead, they would be the only other ones with knowledge of these chips.
Darth Sidious is dead?
He is. Master Yoda killed him.
What about Anna?
Ahsoka stopped herself.
Never mind.
She didn't want to know the answer. She refused to know the actual truth. Earlier, she sensed that something horrible had happened to Anakin, but she had no idea what. She told herself maybe it was best she kept it that way.
Thank you for contacting us. We'll take the next steps from here and see what we can do.
Of course, Master Kenobi.
Oh, and Ahsoka, one last thing. I take it Maul escaped.
He did. We don't know his current whereabouts, but he was able to escape as our ship began to crash land.
I see. May the Force be with you both.
The two nodded and Obi-Wan hung up. From there, he looked at Yoda.
Master Yoda, we must go to Kamino. I'm not sure how much of this plot the Kaminoans knew of, but they could be of help to us.
I agree. Go I will. Stay here until I return, you must.
No, Master. We might be the only Jedi left. I refused to split up with you. And I have good relations with the Kaminoans. You'll need me there with you.
Agree with you I do, Obi-Wan. Go to Kamino, we shall.
From there, the two set off for Kamino, and as they did, they spoke with their Prime Minister, Lama Su, as well as one of their doctors, Nala Se. As they spoke, Obi-Wan and Yoda explained to them what happened, and that it was these inhibitor chips that caused the clones to turn on each and every Jedi. Not only that, but they also shared that Darth Sidious was the Chancellor this entire time, and that he used the clones as part of his plan to take over the galaxy. When the Kaminoans heard this, they were stunned. They admitted that they were aware of the inhibitor chips, but they never knew the true purpose behind them until now. They thought that Protocol 66 would just be used in a rare situation if there were any rogue Jedi, not to be used to eliminate the whole Jedi Order. This shocked them, but luckily they were willing to help. They told Obi-Wan and Yoda that they'd do whatever they could to shut down these ships, and so they got to work immediately. As hours passed, they kept working and working when eventually they found a solution. With the help of many Kaminoan scientists, they were able to transmit a frequency to each and every clone trooper that shut down the inhibitor chips for good. With the clones back to normal, it was now safe for both Obi-Wan and Yoda to return back to Coruscant. At least, that's what they thought. As the two Jedi stood outside, they were contacted by Bail Organa.
Master Kenobi, Master Yoda, whatever you do not return back to Coruscant. It is not safe for you here.
Bail, what are you talking about? We just spoke with the Kaminoans. The inhibitor chip should be shut down by now.
It's not the clones that's the problem, Master Kenobi. There has been security footage spread across the HoloNet that shows Master Yoda killing the Emperor. Everyone is accusing him of being a murderer. And with the Emperor now dead, I'm afraid the Jedi's image has been tainted even more. It is not safe for you here.
I understand.
Obi-Wan looked at Yoda.
Master Yoda, what should we do?
With young Skywalker and Darth Sidious now dead, a better chance we have at reclaiming this galaxy for peace. However, grave patience we must have.
I agree. What should we do with the children? The Empire can't learn about their presence.
Separated they must be. Train the girl I will, yes. Take her with me into exile I will, and in time, train her in the ways of the Force.
And what of the boy?
To Tatooine. Far from here the planet is. There you will train him, Obi-Wan.
I will take the boy and watch over him.
Master Yoda, if you ever change your mind, my wife and I will look over the girl, anytime you need. However, I agree with you both that it is best they are trained in the ways of the Force.
I agree. Master Yoda is right. With Palpatine and Anakin gone, we will have a much better chance at rebuilding the Jedi Order and the Republic.
Patience we must have, Obi-Wan.
Well, it will take time, but I will do my best to remind the Senate of what the Jedi once were, and for them to see the truth. In time, I will also attempt to run to become the new Supreme Chancellor. If all goes well, our chances of clearing the Jedi's name will be a lot higher.
That sounds like a good plan. We'll send you our coordinates to meet for the children. We'll see you soon.
Bail nodded and hung up. As he did, Obi-Wan and Yoda took a second to speak to one another.
Master Yoda, do you really think it's a good idea we train Luke and Leia in the ways of the Force? After what happened to Anakin, I don't want to make the same mistake.
Master Kenobi, clear your mind of doubts, yes. Learned nothing, have you? Focus your mind on the present you must, not the future. Train the children in the right way we will, and in time, a new hope they will be.
Yes. Master, have you felt it? The loss of...
I have, my apprentice. Darth Sidious was a fool. He spent so many years plotting his grand plan just to be killed by a pathetic Jedi.
Master, I did as you asked, and kept a close eye on Kenobi. The last I saw him, he was on Camino with the Jedi Grandmaster. Shall we go after him?
No. We shall remain patient, Darth Talon. For now, we thrive in the chaos that grips this galaxy. And soon, very soon, Kenobi will be the one to seek us out.
Yes, my master.